So in this video, I am going to discuss what I think is the single most important thing about being a good canine leader and what it takes to be able to train your dogs to a high level, whether that's just your dog at home or if you want to work as a dog trainer or like myself as a canine behaviourist. So welcome back to Will and Mabel. If you are new here, my name's Will. Like I just said, I am a canine behaviourist, and on my couple of channels that I've got here on YouTube, I absolutely love helping people choose the right breed for them and their lifestyles, and then how to become a high level canine leader that raises perfect canine companions. Now, like I say, in this video, I really want to discuss something that's been really kind of on my mind recently based on an email that I got from a viewer looking for help from me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read out that email because I think it's a really important topic that needs to be discussed more in a lot of different environments, but especially within the dog training world, because I think it's kind of a very common root cause for a lot of problems that people face, whether, like I say, it's working with other people's dogs as a professional, or whether it's trying to get either you're fixing your own dog's problems or being able to find other people to help fix the problem. So let's dive into that email. I'll read it out. I'm going to keep the names anonymous because I do that with everybody I help. I never obviously talk about my consultations or the people that I help, because I often work with very severe behaviours that are either embarrassing or in some cases kind of like legal issues. So I'm going to read out the email, keep it anonymous, but then we'll discuss, like I say, what I think is a really, really important topic for anybody that is involved with dogs in any fashion. So before we dive into that, subscribe if you're new here, hit that notification bell so you'll never miss a future upload. And if you want to, you can also hit that like button because that really helps the channel. So let's dive into this video and let's dive into this email. So the email: Hi Will, I'm a huge fan of your work and have loved to see your channels progress. I currently own a 10-month-old Connie Corso and we're feeling very confused by all the advice given. Although he can be so loving and affectionate, he has very bad resource guarding and has bitten my brother, who lives in the house, a few months ago when having his lead taken off before bedtime, which was extremely random. Additionally, has shown random signs and signals of aggression when my parents were on the sofa and he jumped up in what started as an overly excited way to get attention but ended up growling, leaving us all unsure as he has become a little bit unpredictable. We have been through many trainers who have been helping us with his fear towards random people and dogs, but the latest trainer has really shocked me with the way he handled our dog, as he claims he is dominating us all, even though the previous trainer said that dominance doesn't exist whatsoever. The session ended in the trainer taking the lead off my dad as he thought the dog was comfortable, even though the only introduction that took place was the dog being walked past the trainer in order to stop lunging. This led to my dog attacking the trainer and really tried to hurt him. The trainer pinned the dog down in order to prevent himself being bitten, but the dog had defecated and urinated in the process. The trainer said he was dominating the dog now and that he is really worried about how aggressive and powerful our dog is, and that if we wanted to fix the issue, we may have to wrestle with the dog in the same way or put him down. I completely understand you do not have time to get back to me. We are just really desperate for some advice, as we are feeling very confused as to whether our dog is aggressive and if dominance theory is actually true at all. We really do not want to put him down as we love him so much. Sorry if this was the wrong email, I was just unsure on how to contact you. Thank you. So like I say, I've left out names. Now obviously I know that email might be quite a bit of a shock for you guys to listen to, and I'm going to break down not only my kind of thought process on that specific incident and what I would do differently and how I would help that person, and I have already gone back and forward with that person. So I thought it would make an excellent video topic and something that I wanted to discuss with you guys today. Now, with the growth of my channels, especially my main channel, The Canine Show, and between the channels, we get around 1 million views a month. And in all of those videos, I discuss how if you need help, you can email me. And I offer that help completely for free. And it's got to the point now where I'm getting hundreds, if not thousands of emails every day, and staying on top of them is really difficult. And a lot of people think I'm crazy for answering all those emails for free. Especially with nowadays, it's taken away from the time that I could be spent doing consultations and making money for the family. And the reason that I say that it's so important to me and I find it really difficult to not answer questions is because of emails exactly like that. Because if I don't answer that question or I ignore that email, that dog could very well be put down, and that breaks my heart. And I have so many kind of emotions going through my mind about situations like that, that if I can help, I really genuinely want to. Because again, if you've been watching any of my channels for any time at all, you'll know that my kind of core purpose and my vision and what I think kind of my calling is to help people to fix problems at kind of the root cause, to stop the amount of dogs getting put down, which is why I get so emotional and passionate in so many of my videos in topics that might seem quite mundane to most people. So like I say, that email actually wasn't overly shocking to me. I get much more severe issues and severe attacks and severe cases of aggression of people coming to me for help with. But that one really jumped out at me because of the level that the lady was struggling kind of emotionally with the turmoil of the decision that she was facing and the confusion. And it's the confusion that I really want to focus on to start with this video. And then, like I say, I will discuss some more practical things about that specific case. And the confusion that she's been to multiple different trainers. I know she's spent thousands and thousands of dollars on trying to get this problem fixed because she cares and she's trying to do the best thing she can, and she really doesn't want her dog to get put down. But you go to one trainer who tells you that dominance theory is completely ridiculous and that positive only is the only possible solution to all problems in the dog training world. However, I can't work with that dog because it's too aggressive and it should be put down. So then they go to somebody that feels more capable of working with large, powerful, aggressive breeds who simply blame everything on the dominance theory and use dominance alpha roles to solve all problems. But again, says similar things, that you either need to be alpha rolling a dog all the time or get the dog put down because they're so powerful and aggressive. And one professional saying one thing and one professional saying the other thing. And it's like, where do we even go from here? And how are we ever meant to be able to break down that information and get through the nonsense to actually help the dog? Which at the end of the day is what we as professionals and dog owners should focus on. But in this culture that we live in today, it drives me absolutely crazy that that isn't the case and that isn't happening. It's a classic example of tribalism and echo chambers, and this happens from politics all the way through to veganism, through to climate change, through to dog training, where people find a team and they sit on a team and they stay in a kind of echo chamber of only hearing opinions that benefit or agree with their team's philosophy, and everybody on any other team is the enemy and we need to attack them and tell them that they're useless, which forces nothing but this, which forces nothing but arguments and no progress. And poor ladies like the one emailed, and even more so poor dog that's involved, doesn't get the help that it needs and ends up getting put down. And it drives me absolutely crazy. And it's for that reason that if someone asks me what type of trainer I am, the term that I use and the phrase that I use is that I'm a balanced dog trainer. Now, for me, all that means is that we're open and we've got open minds to understand that there's lots of different tools. No dog is the same, no case is the same, no individual behavior is the same, no method of training is the same of what works with what dog. And it's simply like a builder. You need the right tool for the right job at the right time. Now, if you're a positive only person, that only tool in your toolbox might be a feather duster. But if you're a dominance theory person, the only tool in your toolbox is a sledgehammer. Now, if you keep working enough with enough cases, eventually you'll find a problem that requires a sledgehammer. And then you'll have a classic case that you can film and you can throw it on YouTube and you can make yourself look fantastic. The same with the positive only. You'll find something that the feather duster works with brilliantly, and you'll ignore all the other cases and you won't tell people that you're recommending that their dogs be put down and you can't work with them. But what you will spout online is that your method is the only method, and you'll show where it is successful. The problem is that neither is the right solution for every case. And I think what people need to do is have a more rounded, open mind and be able to learn from some people over on this side. And we need to learn the skill set of people over on this side, as well as this person and this person and this person. And the more we balance and the more we learn and the more tools we put in our toolbox, the better canine leaders that we are. And like I say, I promise we're going to go on to some practical things about that email. But if you can take one thing away from this video today, it's that please be open-minded and try and catch yourself falling for that level of tribalism where you sit on a team and you close your mind to other solutions, because I promise you, if you watch this video and you respect my opinion at all, I absolutely support positive only people. I really do. But I don't believe it's the right fix for all problems. I absolutely support more traditional methods of training, but it isn't the right solution for all cases. You need to have a balanced approach, and that's where, so when people ask me, well, who do I recommend? If you've been following me for a while, you'll know Robert Cabral, Tom Davis, Stoney Dennis, Larry Crone. There's people out there that kind of get that, and they understand, and they've experienced lots of different elements, and they've taken what works and they've disregarded what doesn't, and they don't sit in any one team and get into the arguments. They simply care about the dogs they work with, they care about the outcome, and they'll choose the right tool for the right job that gets the job done as quickly and as efficiently as possible, so that that dog can be a happy, well-rounded, well-mannered, obedient dog that can go through life in an excellent way with its canine leader. So that might have been a little bit of a rant, and like I say, you can tell that these things kind of get me emotional and fired up, and even on this channel it's much smaller than my main channel, but if the few people watching this video can kind of take that and understand it, hopefully that could be a little bit of a ripple effect, and maybe we can kind of get over this nonsense that's filling our society at the minute. Like I say, be open-minded, be prepared to listen to different people, and if you find a trainer that slags off another trainer, maybe that would be a red flag for me that might suggest that they only have one tool in their toolbox, and if the job that you're asking them to fix doesn't require that tool, then you're not going to find a solution. So back to kind of the practical situation of this. So obviously in this situation, we've got a very large, powerful dog that's showing resource guarding tendencies and is showing dog to dog aggression as well as dog to human aggression. Definitely red flags, definitely situation that needs to be addressed, and definitely a situation that could devolve into a serious incident if it's not fixed, which would then definitely require the dog to be put down. Now, from the limited information I have from that email, and again, I'm always reluctant to give kind of extremely bespoke behavioural interventions or modification programs unless I've seen it in first hand and I can see the minute little intricacies around the behaviour and the body language and the communication to really understand what's happening. But this dog, to me, is not an aggressive dog. The fact that the dog lunged at the trainer but then ended up defecating and urinating itself is a huge sign to me that all we have here is a dog that is extremely fearful and extremely anxious. A dog that is extremely fearful and extremely anxious probably is stemming from the lack of leadership, that dog doesn't know where to look to for guidance and direction, and doesn't know that it can trust its leader to tell it how to behave no matter what situation it finds itself in. And again, you'll hear me talking about this all the time, and I'm going to talk about it every single time it's relevant, because it's something, again, that people absolutely need to understand, that to have a good relationship with your dog, you need to be that dog's calm and consistent leader that is able to give that dog direction when it needs it. For example, when you're on a walk and that dog wants to lunge at somebody and it's lunging out of fear and anxiety, you can be able to go, no bro, calm down, I've got this, I'm in charge, I'm in control, follow my lead and do as I say. And what you'll find is that dog will just relieve that baggage, and it'll, oh, I can let go of all that stress and all that anxiety because I can trust in you to handle this situation and I don't need to handle it. Finally, I can relax, I can be calm, and maybe I can attempt at trying to be a happy dog. If you can kind of fix that leadership situation, you can then often naturally fix the resource guarding. Again, the resource guarding often stems from the dog not having clear leadership in its life and not understanding that that thing that it's guarding belongs to its leader, and that it's a privilege to be allowed access to that thing, whether it's food, water, comfortable spots or toys. That dog fears that it might not get it again, and that it actually needs to defend that resource through either it's very rare that it'll come from any kind of dominance or alpha position, but it often again stems from fear and anxiety of losing that thing and not knowing whether it's going to be able to gain access to that resource again. Whereas a dog that trusts in its leader will go, yeah, no worries, bro, thank you for letting me have that for the amount of time I had it. What can I do to get it back? And then that's where you can layer on your obedience of things like a sit and stay or a place or a down. there's tons. This isn't going to be a resource guarding video. I've done videos on that in the past, and I'll do more dedicated videos on kind of tips and tricks and strategies to fix resource guarding, different drills you can do. But like I say, I always try and discuss getting to the root cause of a problem rather than just trying to cover it or mask it or put a plaster over the problem. And for me, this problem is a very clear, classic example of a very fearful, anxious dog that doesn't know what the appropriate way to behave in certain situations is. It doesn't trust its owners, it doesn't trust people. And it's learned that its first line of defense is to lunge, is to bite, is to growl, is to attack. Now, the fact that this Connie Corso hasn't severely hurt anybody yet shows that it isn't an aggressive dog, because if it wanted to hurt somebody, it would have hurt somebody seriously. It's just showing that it doesn't know what to do, and it's spilling out into these behaviours. And then when someone like the trainer is challenging it and using a very extreme method of pinning it down and utilising an alpha role to a fearful or anxious dog that now has lost all control, it still hasn't gained any leadership or any trust, it's just had any level of control it had left removed from it, and it defecates and urinates itself. It's doesn't surprise me, it doesn't shock me. Of course that happened, and it wasn't the way. Like I say, it was about restructuring that relationship, going through a program of being able to restructure that relationship. That is what my boot camp's for. I'm not going to do a hard sell on it. The link to it is down in the description. That's all I'm going to say. But that is how I manage the clients that I work with fearful, anxious dogs that lack guidance. I'd go through that protocol, I'd restructure that relationship. Whilst they're going through that protocol, you can teach the owners how to be good leaders. The dog, while they're going through that protocol, knows to look to you for guidance, and in that process you can then also layer up the obedience required to not only get them to go, okay, cool, you're in charge, what do I need to do? And then with that obedience, you can further that relationship by going, yeah, I am in charge, and in this situation that you're finding stressful, this is what I want you to do. And even if you don't remove that stress or that anxiety, at least you've got the dog under control and not making those behaviours. And then, like I say, you can then carry on further, and the two things kind of bounce off each other and go in the right direction. So that video was an emotional one for me. I definitely ranted. How long have I been? Oh, it's not been too long, 18 minutes once I've edited it down, probably a little bit less. So I hope you found it useful. If you did, click that thumbs up button. As always, you can message me. Comments are enabled on this channel, so you can drop your comments, chat with each other down in the comments section. I'll try and find time to come in there as well and help if I can. So yeah, like it if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more like this, notification bell so you never miss another video. I really appreciate you all. I love you all. Keep striving to be better canine leaders so you can have better canine companions. And I'll see you on the next episode of Will